Okay. I think this is the last part of my presentation. Then we have some discussions. Then how do we do a research? The process is called outlining. Okay? This is how you practically do the research. Outlining. So outlining serves three purposes. Number one, it acts as a mechanism of integrating and transforming ideas. Number two, it acts as a mechanism of sequencing those ideas. And it acts as a general plan for the composition, for the writing. So outlining means what? You bring all those themes you are reading. Okay? This research talked about democracy as election. Another research talks about democracy as rule of law. Another research talks about the economic development. You see a lot of things. Then you integrate all of them, and then you write them in a way that is more like an essay. So you bring them together, like, okay, we already have 5 sub-themes under democracy, and then you go, and then sequencing means you start narrowing, and then you show systematically how one finding lead to the other. Okay, you choose a certain sequence. For example, you want to focus on elections, and then you from elections, you go to multi-parties, the different political parties, you know. You see, that's like sequencing. And then you have a plan or a framework. Remember, we talked about framework, which will guide you in what you will, how you will collect data. I mean, what data you will collect and the data you will analyze. Okay? So the outline process is done in 3 levels. Number one, choose a general topic of your interest. And this is the assignment I'm giving you for next time. And even the students who are not mine, you are all mine. So you can also do the assignment. Okay? Choose a general topic. That's number one. General topic. Democracy. Or good governance. Maybe good governance will come under democracy. See, choose just a general topic, okay? Justice, things like that, eh? Yes? Should it be? No, of course we are writing research here. Of course, it's related to the research you want to do. Because we are not here, I'm doing this session as part of supervising the free student. Because for me, this is my approach. I supervise collectively. Instead of Eric sending me his things and the Olivier sending me his things, and then no, we'll be doing this. We give us 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we work on the assignment, we come, we present, and then I give comment, and then we move on together. Okay? So choose the general topic, identify the subtopics and the themes for the general topic. I gave you an example: democracy, rule of law, human rights, good governance, election, and things. Okay? Place them in a logical order. Place them in a logical order. I will show you an example soon. Okay? Place them in a logical, like a chart. Like a chart, place them in a logical order. Those are the 3 processes of doing a research. Choose a general topic, get subtopics and themes, and then make them in a certain order. Okay? Is it clear, Pascal? Yes. Those are the themes. The sub-themes, then, yeah, subtopics, then you go under the human right, for example. What is human right? And how is it related to democracy? You might find other small. What is the election? Does all the, you see, that's why I told you, literature is based on questions you keep asking yourself. For example, if you want to know, I really want to check if elections contribute to enhancing democracy. And then you see, okay, the sub-theme, the first theme under democracy is election. But you ask yourself, whenever there is election, there is democracy? No. Then what makes the difference? Why is it election in a certain country enhancing democracy, in another country it's not enhancing democracy? Maybe you can find multipartyism as a sub-theme of the election. You see? Then you keep going until you get to a narrower focus. Okay? Of course, you don't have to go do all the things. You understand? You are not interested maybe in human rights. You are interested in the election. So you read through the first themes and then choose the theme you want to go deep. You choose maybe election and then go to multiple, you develop. And then maybe also, so you can go up to like 3 to 4 levels until you reach an area where I feel like I'm interested in this. It doesn't mean other things are not important. You can still see how they connect each other, even the other things you are not focusing on. For example, in a country where human rights are not respected, then people will not be allowed to go to have a strong political party. Then if you reach to multi-parties, you might find it related to human rights, you see? Then you are building already a certain type of framework, right? Yes, yes. Place them in the logical order. So the logical order, you can explain. Like democracy, one of the characteristic of democracy is election. And the election, not all elections will enhance the democracy. There is a type of election for multi-partyism that will really, you see, logically you should not just put something below without showing how this is connected with the previous one. So it will be logical. Can explain. You must be able to explain. And the way I'm speaking is the way your literature should be written. It should not be just like one funding, another funding, keep following each other without the flow, the connection. So I should feel like you are talking to me. You are presenting about democracy. You are telling me democracy is shown by 5 characteristic, and in this research I'm going to focus on the election, and the elections, not all the elections are according to this alter elections that can lead to democracy. They have these characteristics. You see, I should see a flow. That's what makes us enjoying to read your papers. If we see the logic behind what you are writing, not just copying and pasting. Okay. Okay, so this is the assignment for the next session we have. So in other words, the subtopics need to be signposts. Signposts are like ibirango that shows you where you want to focus. Okay, the signposts that direct the reader from the broader theme to the specific focus of what the current study will be about. You see? So you should pursue the element you want to focus on. If you want to focus on the election, then you don't have to spend much time talking about good governance, right? So you will quickly go to election and go further. How do we understand the election in relation to democracy? Keep going, okay? So this is how it looks like. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe it is small. Okay? This is how it looks like. Here, okay, you have distantly related to your work. So here you have, you start from a bigger thing, something which is a bit distant from your work. If your work is election, maybe human rights. It's something that is related, but it starts from there. Human rights, good governance, election, and rule of law. And then that's the first level. The second level, you will focus on something closer to what you are doing, but not much directly. For example, say from election, you go to multi-parties. Multi-partyism is something somehow closer to what I'm going to focus on. Okay? And then up to the point you reach to research that is particularly pertinent to your work. So you from there, you keep narrowing up to the key point you want to focus on. Yes? No, the topic is above this distant related to your work. If you said your topic is democracy, maybe the first themes are human rights. So human rights is distant to your focus. Okay? And then keep coming up to your focus. So at a certain point, there are some things you will not develop because you see they are not related to your work. But it's better you discuss them briefly to prove that, to show that you really master the literature around democracy. Okay? And then you can say it. You can say it, yes, among these 5 features of democracy, in this research, we are going to focus on this one. And then you go to that one. And they then tell us what that one, how is that one related to democracy? Keep going. So it is a lot of work. You don't just read and then you say, okay, I got this, it's not. No, you have to keep looking for the one you're looking for. Okay? But it's rich. The literature will become rich and it will give you a lot of elements to include in your theoretical framework. Yes, yes. From the literature, they, for example, from New Zealand, they come and the national African context, they go until you reach the yes, you're right. So you can also narrow it like geographical, or you can even narrow it like chronological, starting from the ancient time up to the most recent time. All of that is just a matter of your topic. So which topic are you dealing with? Because you don't do it necessarily. For example, if you are doing theories, you will not do those geographical kind of narrowing, because a theory is just theory. If it was invented by someone from France, I don't think you need to mention that in France. Maybe you can mention that this was developed in the context of Western countries. Maybe that's possible. And then you come to African countries, if there is a theory from country, things like that. So what matters is that to keep narrowing your focus. Okay? Yeah. So it should be distant to your narrow research question, like focus. Of course, it must be related to a general topic. So if you start with democracy, that's the example I gave you. And then if you say under democracy, there are 5 characteristics. Maybe there's human rights, good governance, election, rule of law. And then you want to focus on election. And so human right is a distant element, somehow distant from your focus on election, but it's still related to the general topic. And then because you will not focus on human rights, you leave it there, and then you deepen election up until you reach on the point where you want to focus. Okay? Good, good. Good. Yes, this is the end of my presentation. Unless you have questions. Yes. Unless you have any particular question. Okay. Yes, you can ask, and then I will see if they have questions from Amisi or Abikan. Yes, Genzi? Because this is for quantitative research. So if they are doing a quantitative research, they are looking for the correlation between the dependent and independent variable. I will highly ask them to do it. But if they are looking for qualitative, that means their question is more about to get different views to describe how an issue is bigger and deeper, different understanding behind a certain issue, then that's qualitative, and then there is no variables. In fact, if you have, for example, democracy, we already have 5 of them. So you are not looking how election leads to democracy. If that's the only thing you want, then that's quantitative. Then you have to focus on only the election and say, I will count in the 54 countries of Africa, wherever there is election, is there democracy? And then you count and say, in Africa, 75% of countries with election are democratic or not. So this is the result of your research. That is quantitative. So you have variable, independent variable, and independent variable. But if that's not your focus, if your focus is more how what people think about elections, how do they see elections, what type of elections are there, things like that, then that's qualitative, no need of variables. Yes, we talk about variables when we are talking about quantitative research. We talk about the themes and sub-themes when we talk about qualitative research. If then it's a mix, so you have variables, and then one variable, you will go deeper. So you started by counting, saying, okay, 75 people, they have this view, but you use then the qualitative part by showing how that these people, even though they have the same view, they have different small differences or whatever. But at PS, we don't really encourage students to do mixed because it requires a lot of time and the energy, and the sample should be big. That's the problem of, okay, not the problem, but that's the hard part of quantitative. You have to give your questionnaire to people, even hundreds of them. But for qualitative, 10, 15 is enough. You can make a very good point with 10 people, 15 people. 20 people is big already. Okay, so there are pros and cons. So it's up to you to know your energy, your availability, your money, your resources to know, okay, I'm doing this. And also the goal. What is your goal? Do you want to conclude by saying 55%? Or you want to conclude saying like, this idea, this issue is actually deeper. It has different ramifications, things like that. Okay? Abekani and Amisi, welcome. And if you have any thing to say or comment, please go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, my question is about the assignments. Like now, the next before the next session, we have to choose a general topic and then identify subtopics and terms, and then to place them in a logical framework.
Yes, that's the question. That's the assignment.
So after this, we can submit to you by your email.
No. You will present. So I will give you time to present them.
Okay.
And then we discuss them together. But also add.
Okay, fine.
Add to research question. Research question or questions you want to address. So after showing the logical order, tell me, this is the research gap I want to focus on, and this is the research question. Because it's clear, it's easy. If we go narrowing up to, you reach to a point, say, okay, no one had addressed that one, that will be a research gap. And then formulate your research question. Of course, you attempt to do it, then we will see it together. Okay? But since maybe for me to get some ideas before I come to the class so that I prepare myself, you can also share them 2 days before we meet. Then maybe I can prepare myself, I go through them, and then I have something to comment so that we don't lose much time. So even except only the students who are supervised by others, but my students really can submit to me. Percy, sorry. But bring your presentation. We have time to also listen to a student and comment. But make sure you never say that Rodrigue said this or something we say. Okay? No. The objective later. On research gap, research question. That's it. Okay, there's another question here from Amisi. What are the qualities of a good theoretical framework? If there are any particular case we can use, if there are any particular case we cannot use, is there any particular case we cannot use theoretical framework? For me, I think there is no particular case you cannot use a theoretical framework. It might be called differently. For example, at my school, my master's school, we call it analytical framework. But you must have something which will guide you. Because how will you ask questions? How will you know? Unless you just bring some question out of nowhere. So for you to be able to confidently ask relevant questions related to your topic, you must get them from the literature review. And a good way of having those questions is to have a theoretical framework. You know, okay, if you are dealing with this issue, there are 5 elements you need to consider. And you get those 5 elements from the literature. And then those 5 elements will make you ask different questions on those 5 elements. You see, that's the theoretical framework is somehow a kind of guideline, if I would say so, that will tell you these are the elements to consider for my topic from the retreat. And this is the one I'm going to ask. And then I will analyze in line with this element. Okay? So that's why I am convinced that a theoretical framework or analytical framework or theoretical orientation is relevant. And I want to give you a question. Should I say this? Maybe. Okay. It should remain. It should remain between ourselves. I was in one meeting here, and then we were talking about research. And one researcher, okay, one lecturer is planning to do research, and then he shared the research, and then somebody asked him, "Are you having any theoretical framework for your research?" And they say, "No, I don't need it, because I'm just going to write something, yeah." But they told you, at least you need something to guide you. I understand some type of research are more like explorative. You want to explore something new. But the truth is, in social sciences, we are not expecting you guys, you will explore something new. And at your level, even at master's level, we are not expecting that somehow you will come up with something completely new. There is no other research on, I'm the first one. No, you cannot say that, isn't it? So if then you cannot say that, that means you have to rely on the research fundings from others. And those are enough to give you that theoretical framework that will guide you. And of course, you have to, I will show you next time how you can include different elements in it. Okay? So you can rely on them to accomplish your research. So for me, then it's highly important to have a theoretical framework. Yes.
The parents say that why do you not and it was supervised saying during the project. And it is not really easy to continue with our effort without this theoretical framework. Understanding we need to have it and say, and as I say, I don't know how you can continue with studies on our paper.
Okay, I will respond to you in this way. Part of the reasons that some supervisors or examiners, they just say, just remove it. It is because most of the time students, they choose the theoretical framework that which is not related to the literature. So you are talking about different things, and then you just bring something out of nowhere and say, this is my theoretical framework. Yeah, I got it from somewhere. But then they're like, okay, better just remove it. Okay? Yeah, it's better they tell you to adjust it. But sometimes the literature has nothing to do with the literature review, and you did not use it when you ask questions and when you collect data, and then people will say, remove it. But I think if you do it well, most of the time in the theoretical framework, you have to build it yourself. You might not have one particular theory that really touches on all the elements you discussed in your literature. And then you have to build it by yourself, by bringing those theories, those other findings together in a big chart. So then, in that way, obviously, you can, if you build it and you show that every element I discussed in the literature, I have included it in the theoretical framework, and then use it to collect data and to analyze the data. If you do that, and there is one supervisor who is not happy with you, and I'm the one who will examine you, please bring that in your pocket and show me that. I will give you the permission to put it. Because for me, it is the heart of the research. Without a theoretical framework or any type of guidance, you will not know which element to consider for my topic. You will not collect relevant data. You will not do good analysis, because the analysis is what? It's a comparison of the literature and the data. You see, that's the analysis. You compare to see if what you found is the same as what was in the literature. And the structure, the framework that help you to do those kind of analysis is the theoretical framework. Theoretical framework is like a road that leads you to Kigali. So if you don't have that road that leads you, saying pass here, pass here, pass here, you reach to Kigali, you get lost, isn't it? I hope it's clear, Amici.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.